True strength is built in solitude, where self-reliance and resilience are forged. Often we believe strength is born from collaboration, from the support and encouragement of others, but true, unshakable strength is cultivated in those quiet moments when we stand alone, facing our fears, doubts, and challenges head-on. It's in those times of solitude, away from the noise and distraction, that we find the deepest reservoirs of resilience and learn what it truly means to depend on ourselves. Being alone strips away the illusions and facades that's hide behind. There is no one to impress, no one to validate our feelings, no one to confirm that we're on the right track. This solitude forces us to look inward and confront the parts of ourselves we may have ignored or neglected. This inward journey isn't easy, it's uncomfortable, even painful at times, but it's through this discomfort that we build resilience, learning to sit with our thoughts, our fears, and our insecurities. We become stronger not by running from them, but by facing them directly and finding a way to overcome them on our own. When we stand alone, we learn to trust ourselves. We learn to trust our instincts, our decisions, and our abilities. Without the constant input and feedback from others, we are forced to make choices based on our own understanding and beliefs. This self-reliance is an invaluable skill because it teaches us that we have the answers within us, even when it feels like we don't. It teaches us that we don't need the validation of others to move forward, to pursue our dreams, or to overcome our obstacles. By depending on ourselves, we cultivate a quiet confidence that no one can take away. We become resilient, knowing that we have the strength to face whatever comes our way. In solitude, we also gain clarity about our values and priorities. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to get caught up in what others expect of us or in pursuing goals that don't truly align with our values. But when we spend time alone, we have the space to reflect on what really matters to us. We begin to understand our motivations, our desires, and our passions on a deeper level. This clarity allows us to make choices that are true to ourselves, rather than choices that are influenced by external pressures. It's a grounding experience, helping us build a life that reflects who we truly are rather than who we think we should be. Solitude also provides us with the opportunity to confront our weaknesses. When we're alone, there's no one to cover for us or to pick up the slack. We are faced with our shortcomings and limitations, and this can be a humbling experience. But instead of seeing these weaknesses as reasons to feel discouraged, solitude allows us to see them as opportunities for growth. We can acknowledge where we need to improve, and we can take the steps necessary to work on these areas without the pressure of outside judgment. In this way, solitude becomes a training ground for resilience as we learn to accept ourselves fully, including our flaws, and to work towards becoming better. In times of solitude, we are free to explore new ideas and to take risks without fear of judgment. Without the expectations and opinions of others weighing on us, we are more likely to experiment and to try things that we may have otherwise avoided. This freedom fosters creativity and innovation, allowing us to push the boundaries of what we believe is possible. We learn that failure isn't something to be feared, but rather a stepping stone on the path to growth. This mindset of resilience is crucial because it enables us to view challenges as opportunities rather than as obstacles. We come to see that each setback is simply a chance to learn and to grow, and this perspective empowers us to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. As we continue to embrace solitude, we begin to develop a deeper relationship with ourselves. We learn to be comfortable in our own company, to enjoy the silence, and to find peace within. This self-acceptance is the foundation of resilience, as it allows us to stand strong even when we're faced with difficult circumstances. We don't need the approval or validation of others to feel worthy or capable. Instead, we have an inner sense of strength and confidence that comes from knowing who we are and what we're capable of. This self-assurance enables us to remain grounded and focused even in the face of adversity. One of the greatest lessons we learn in solitude is that our worth isn't defined by our achievements or by the opinions of others. In a world that often places so much emphasis on external validation, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval from those around us. But solitude teaches us that our value comes from within and that we are enough just as we are. This realization is incredibly empowering, as it frees us from the need to constantly prove ourselves or to meet unrealistic expectations. We can stand strong knowing that our worth isn't contingent on anyone else's opinion. In the process of building strength in solitude, we also develop a greater sense of empathy and compassion for ourselves and for others. When we face our own struggles and overcome our own challenges, we become more understanding of the difficulties that others may be going through. This empathy is an important aspect of resilience, as it enables us to connect with others on a deeper level and to offer support when it's needed. At the same time, we learn to extend compassion to ourselves, recognizing that it's okay to struggle and that it's okay to ask for help when necessary. This balance between self-reliance and empathy is what makes us truly resilient, as we are able to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and understanding. Building strength in solitude also allows us to cultivate a sense of inner peace. When we're constantly surrounded by noise and distractions, it's difficult to find a sense of calm or balance. But in solitude, we have the space to slow down, to breathe, and to reconnect with ourselves. This inner peace is a powerful source of resilience, as it enables us to stay centered and focused even in the midst of chaos. We are able to approach challenges with a clear mind and a steady heart, knowing that we have the strength to handle whatever comes our way. Solitude teaches us to rely on ourselves, but it also teaches us the importance of being selective about who we allow into our lives. When we know our own strength, we are less likely to settle for relationships or situations that don't serve us. We are more discerning about the people we choose to surround ourselves with, and we are willing to let go of anything that doesn't align with our values or our goals. This ability to set boundaries and to make choices that support our well-being is a crucial aspect of resilience, as it allows us to protect our energy and to focus on what truly matters. In solitude, we also learn to appreciate the small moments of life. When we're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to overlook the beauty and simplicity of everyday experiences. But when we're alone, we become more attuned to the world around us. We notice the way the sunlight filters through the trees, the sound of birds singing, the feeling of a gentle breeze. These small moments of connection to the world remind us of the beauty and wonder that exist all around us. This appreciation for life's simple pleasures helps to ground us, and it reinforces our resilience by reminding us of the things that truly bring us joy. Ultimately, the strength that we build in solitude is a lasting and enduring strength. It's a strength that doesn't waver in the face of adversity, because it's rooted in self-awareness, self-reliance, and self-acceptance. It's a strength that allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace and courage, knowing that we have the inner resources to overcome whatever obstacles come our way. This resilience is the foundation of a fulfilling and meaningful life, as it enables us to pursue our goals, to embrace our passions, and to live in alignment with our values. Today, I want to talk about something many of us know deep down, but sometimes hesitate to acknowledge. Let's talk about being alone but strong. This isn't about loneliness, it's about strength. It's about the power that comes when you learn to stand on your own 2 feet without needing constant approval, constant validation, or a crowd of people telling you what you're worth. Sometimes being alone is the exact place where your strength grows, where your resilience is born, and where your true purpose finds a voice. In life, we often look around for support and comfort, thinking it'll make the journey easier. And yes, community, family, and friends are important, but there are seasons, my friend, when you have to walk a path solo. There are times when nobody's going to call you, check in on you, or hold your hand through the storm. That's the moment you learn what you're made of. That's when you find out what kind of resilience and courage lie within you. See, being alone doesn't make you weak, it reveals your strength. It reveals who you are when nobody else is watching, when there's nobody there to praise you or pat you on the back. In those quiet, solitary moments, that's when character is built. When you're by yourself, when you're wrestling with doubts and fears, that's when you dig deep and tap into a strength that only grows in the quiet, in the silence, in the solitude. Now, don't get me wrong, being alone isn't easy, but just because something's hard doesn't mean it isn't worthwhile. Life doesn't promise us a crowd to cheer us on every step of the way. Sometimes you have to be your own cheering section. Sometimes you have to motivate yourself, lift yourself up, and carry your own burdens. And let me tell you, when you do that, when you push through those moments alone, the strength that comes from that experience will carry you through challenges you haven't even faced yet. You see, we live in a world that celebrates connection, teamwork, and social networks, and all that has its place. But we rarely talk about the value of solitude, of self-reliance, of being your own rock. We rarely talk about the importance of standing strong. Even when you're the only one standing, there's a dignity in that, a confidence that comes when you know you can rely on yourself. It's a type of independence that makes you unshakable, even when the world around you is uncertain. When you embrace being alone, you learn things about yourself that you'd never know otherwise. You find out what you believe, what you're willing to fight for, and what truly matters to you. Without the noise and influence of others, you get clarity on who you are. And that kind of clarity, that deep understanding of self, is a gift. It's a foundation that allows you to live a life that's true to who you are, not to what others expect of you. Strength isn't just about muscle or might, it's about courage. It's about having the guts to face the silence, to confront the unknown without a hand to hold. Being alone but strong means you can stand tall, even when life tries to knock you down. It means you have an inner well of power that doesn't depend on anyone else. And that kind of power, it's priceless. Because when you know you're strong on your own, you're free. You're free from needing others to define you, to lift you up, or to make you feel worthy. Now, I'm not saying you should walk through life alone or shut people out. But sometimes you've got to walk a little further, a little longer by yourself. Sometimes you need that journey alone to prepare you for what's ahead, to shape you into the person you're meant to become. Alone time isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's in that time that you learn resilience, patience, and self-reliance. So if you find yourself alone today, don't let it break you. Don't let it make you feel less. Instead, let it be the ground where you grow your strength, where you plant the seeds of resilience, where you build the life you're meant to lead. Because one day you'll look back and you'll realize that those days you walked alone were the days that made you unbreakable. They were the days that taught you to stand, not because someone else held you up, but because you learned to stand on your own. When you walk the path alone and make it through, you're going to be the kind of person who can handle anything. Because you're no longer waiting on anyone else to give you permission to be great, to be powerful, to be you. You're not depending on someone else to make you feel whole. You're standing strong, not in spite of being alone, but because of it. And that, my friend, is a strength no one can take from you. Walking alone reveals who you are without validation or approval from others. When you choose the path of solitude, you are confronted with your true self, stripped of any influence or expectation that others may place upon you. This journey is not easy, as it demands a courage few people are willing to embrace. The truth is, we often seek the comfort of validation from those around us, relying on the opinions, approvals, and affirmations of others to shape our sense of worth and direction. But walking alone challenges all that. It asks you to stand firmly on your own 2 feet, rooted in who you are, without the need for someone else's nod of approval or the comfort of agreement. In solitude, we can no longer hide behind the mask we put on in social settings. The presence of others, no matter how well-meaning, often influences our behaviors and decisions. We modify our actions, words, and even thoughts based on how we believe others perceive us. Walking alone removes that filter and lays bare our true desires, fears, strengths, and insecurities. In this vulnerable state, we are forced to face the raw, unfiltered version of ourselves. This can be uncomfortable, even frightening. But it's in this vulnerability that we find our authentic selves. We begin to understand who we are when no one else is watching, and this understanding is the cornerstone of self-awareness and personal growth. Without the input of others, we begin to hear our own voice more clearly. This voice may have been drowned out by the noise of external expectations, but now, in the silence of solitude, it emerges with clarity and strength. This voice is often wiser than we realize. It holds insights, desires, and truths that may have been buried under the weight of societal pressures or family expectations. Listening to this voice is a profound act of self-discovery, and it guides us toward a life that is true to ourselves rather than a life dictated by others. Walking alone, therefore, becomes a journey of self-connection, allowing us to hear and honor our inner voice without interference. One of the most powerful aspects of walking alone is the freedom it provides. When you are not reliant on others for validation or guidance, you have the freedom to make choices that align with your deepest values and desires. You are no longer bound by the constraints of groupthink or the fear of disappointing others. This freedom can be both exhilarating and terrifying. It requires a level of self-trust that many of us are unaccustomed to. But as we continue to walk alone, we gradually build this trust in ourselves. We learn that we are capable of making decisions and charting a path forward, even in the face of uncertainty. This self-trust is a gift that walking alone gives us, and it empowers us to live life on our own terms. When we walk alone, we learn to be our own source of strength and encouragement. In the company of others, it's easy to rely on their support during difficult times. But solitude teaches us that we are capable of facing challenges and overcoming obstacles by ourselves. This doesn't mean that we should never seek help or lean on others when necessary, but it does mean that we develop a resilient inner strength that we can draw upon in times of need. Walking alone reveals our capacity for endurance, our ability to persevere even when things get tough. It shows us that we are strong, resourceful, and capable in ways we may not have realized. Walking alone also strips away any illusions of perfection that we may have been clinging to. When we are alone, we are confronted with our flaws and imperfections in a way that can be humbling. There is no one else to blame, no distractions to deflect from our shortcomings. This honest reflection can be difficult, but it is essential for personal growth. By acknowledging our imperfections, we create space for self-compassion and understanding. We learn to accept ourselves as we are, recognizing that growth is a journey, not a destination. This acceptance is a powerful form of self-love, and it frees us from the constant pressure to be perfect. In solitude, we also learn to appreciate our own company. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with loneliness or emptiness. But walking alone reveals that solitude can be a deeply fulfilling experience. We discover that we are complete on our own, that our worth is not dependent on the presence or approval of others. This realization allows us to cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment. We begin to enjoy the quiet moments, the times of reflection, and the freedom to simply be ourselves without any external expectations. This appreciation for our own company is a form of self-respect, and it strengthens our ability to stand alone with confidence and dignity. Walking alone also helps us to build resilience. Life is filled with challenges, and there will be times when we must face them without the support of others. When we have walked alone, we know that we are capable of handling these challenges. We have developed the mental and emotional strength to persevere even in the face of adversity. This resilience is a powerful asset, as it allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of confidence and self-assurance. We know that we have the resources within us to overcome whatever obstacles come our way, and this knowledge empowers us to keep moving forward. Walking alone teaches us to let go of the need for approval and validation from others. So often we make choices based on what we think will make others happy or what will earn us praise. But when we walk alone, we learn that our worth is not defined by the opinions of others. We realize that we are enough just as we are, and that we don't need external validation to feel worthy or valuable. This realization is incredibly liberating, as it frees us from the constant need to seek approval. We are able to make choices that are true to ourselves, rather than choices that are designed to please others. This freedom is a key part of self-respect and self-love. When we walk alone, we also learn to embrace uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and there are no guarantees. When we rely on others for guidance and support, we may be tempted to avoid taking risks or stepping into the unknown. But when we walk alone, we learn to trust ourselves in the face of uncertainty. We develop the courage to take risks, to try new things, and to pursue our dreams without fear of failure. This courage is a vital part of personal growth, as it allows us to expand our horizons and to discover new possibilities. By embracing uncertainty, we open ourselves up to a life of adventure, growth, and fulfillment. Walking alone also teaches us the value of boundaries. When we rely on others for validation or support, we may be more willing to compromise our boundaries or to tolerate behaviors that don't align with our values. But walking alone allows us to develop a clear sense of what we will and will not accept in our lives. We learn to set boundaries that protect our well-being and to honor those boundaries without apology. This self-respect is an essential part of walking alone, as it ensures that we are able to maintain our integrity and to live in alignment with our values. In solitude, we also learn to listen to our intuition. In the presence of others, it's easy to second-guess ourselves or to prioritize external opinions over our own instincts. But when we walk alone, we are more attuned to our inner voice. This voice may be subtle, but it is wise, and it often knows what is best for us, even when logic or external advice suggests otherwise. Listening to our intuition is a form of self-trust, and it allows us to make decisions that are aligned with our true selves. This inner guidance is a powerful resource, as it helps us to navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction. Walking alone also gives us the space to reflect on our lives and to evaluate our goals, values, and priorities. In the busyness of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But solitude provides us with the opportunity to pause, to look inward, and to reconnect with our deeper purpose. This reflection allows us to make adjustments to our lives, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to focus on what brings us joy and fulfillment. By walking alone, we are able to live more intentionally, making choices that are aligned with our values and our vision for our lives. When we walk alone, we become more self-aware. We learn to recognize our patterns, habits, and tendencies, both positive and negative. This self-awareness is essential for personal growth, as it allows us to identify areas for improvement and to make changes that support our well-being. By becoming more aware of ourselves, we are able to live more consciously and to take responsibility for our actions. This self-awareness is a form of self-mastery, as it empowers us to make choices that are aligned with our true selves. Finally, walking alone helps us to develop a sense of inner peace. In a world that is often chaotic and demanding, solitude provides us with a sanctuary where we can find calm and clarity. This inner peace is a source of resilience, as it allows us to remain centered and grounded, even in the face of challenges. We learn that we don't need to be constantly surrounded by others to feel whole or fulfilled. Instead, we find fulfillment within ourselves, and this inner peace becomes a guiding light that sustains us through life's ups and downs. Walking the path of life alone, yet emerging strong, is not something that comes naturally. It's cultivated day by day. To be alone and still strong requires a unique mindset, one that acknowledges solitude as a tool rather than a setback. Many people fear solitude because they believe that strength lies only in numbers and connections and in the approval of others. But true inner strength isn't found there. It's forged in the quiet moments, in the trials faced without an audience, and in the determination to persist regardless of who is watching. To be strong in solitude means we're not dependent on external affirmation or companionship to feel secure or to validate our worth. Instead, we learn to be our own source of motivation, resilience, and courage. This kind of strength is quiet, not showy. It's rooted in self-reliance, personal values, and a strong sense of purpose that doesn't require the agreement or support of others. Being strong alone starts with an understanding that our greatest asset in life is ourselves. We are often taught to look outward to seek support, guidance, and acceptance from those around us. But at the end of the day, the only person who is truly invested in our success, our happiness, and our well-being is ourselves. This isn't to say that relationships, community, or support aren't valuable. They absolutely are, but they are supplemental. They're the extras, not the foundation. A person who builds their strength on the approval of others or on their relationships is like someone building a house on sand. When the winds of change blow, or when support fades, that person feels lost, uncertain, and fragile. However, those who know how to walk alone, who have built their strength on the solid foundation of self-worth and personal conviction, are unshaken by such changes. They are grounded because their strength is internal, not dependent on circumstances or the presence of others. Walking alone teaches us to embrace discomfort. In solitude, we are stripped of distractions, and we're forced to face ourselves as we are. There's no one to hide behind, no excuses to make, and no one else to blame. This discomfort can feel overwhelming at first. Many people avoid solitude precisely because it confronts them with truths about themselves that they'd rather ignore. But it's within this discomfort that the seeds of personal growth are planted. We learn more about our strengths, our weaknesses, and our true desires when we're alone than we ever could in the company of others. This is the kind of knowledge that empowers us. It gives us clarity about who we are and what we stand for, and it makes us less susceptible to the influence of others. When we are forced to sit with ourselves in silence, we come face to face with our inner thoughts, fears, and doubts. This self-examination is tough, but it is through this honest look inward that we grow resilient. We learn to acknowledge our imperfections, to own our mistakes, and to set new paths for improvement. In the end, the discomfort of solitude becomes the bedrock of our strength. Another aspect of being strong alone is learning to become our own best advocate. In life, there will be times when we have no one cheering us on, no one who believes in us, and no one to lift us up when we fall. In those moments, we have to be able to stand up and cheer for ourselves. We have to learn to be our own motivator, to pat ourselves on the back, and to find the energy within to keep going. This is a difficult skill to master because we're often taught to rely on external validation. Society, family, and friends can give us encouragement, but that encouragement is fleeting. It's not a constant source of energy. By learning to be our own advocate, we create a wellspring of inner motivation that we can tap into whenever we need it. This is true strength, the ability to push forward even when no one is watching, even when no one is there to give us a hand. Being strong in solitude also involves creating a life that is aligned with our values, even when no one else shares those values. Often we are surrounded by people who don't understand or appreciate the goals we've set for ourselves. Friends, family, and society at large may have expectations for us that don't match our own aspirations. In such situations, it takes courage and resilience to walk alone, to pursue the life we truly want, rather than conforming to what others think is best for us. Strength isn't just about physical power or emotional endurance, it's about integrity. It's about sticking to what we believe in, regardless of external pressures. Walking alone means we have to be willing to bear the weight of our convictions, even if it means going against the tide. This kind of inner strength is rare, but it is the hallmark of people who are truly in touch with themselves and who know what they want out of life. One of the most powerful aspects of learning to be strong alone is the ability to let go of the need for constant validation from others. Many people spend their lives trying to prove themselves to others. They chase accomplishments, relationships, and material possessions in the hopes of earning approval. But this is a never-ending cycle. The more we seek validation from others, the more we lose touch with our own sense of self-worth. When we learn to walk alone, we stop seeking approval because we no longer need it. We understand that our worth isn't defined by what others think of us, but by how we see ourselves. This shift in perspective is incredibly freeing. We are no longer bound by the opinions of others, and we are able to live our lives authentically. This doesn't mean we reject feedback or support from others. It simply means that we don't base our self-worth on it. When we learn to validate ourselves, we become unshakable. No criticism or rejection can undermine our sense of worth because it is rooted in who we are, not in what others think. Another essential aspect of being strong alone is learning to manage our emotions independently. Life is filled with highs and lows, and it's easy to rely on others to help us navigate those emotional swings. While it's natural to seek support during challenging times, true strength comes from knowing how to process and manage our emotions on our own. Walking alone teaches us that we are capable of handling even the most intense emotions. We learn to sit with our feelings, to understand them, and to let them pass without needing someone else to validate or soothe us. This emotional independence is a powerful skill because it makes us less vulnerable to manipulation or control by others. When we know how to manage our emotions, we are in control of our reactions, our decisions, and our lives. This level of self-mastery is a significant aspect of inner strength, and it allows us to remain grounded even in the face of emotional turmoil. In addition to managing emotions, being strong alone involves developing a mindset of resilience and adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and there will be times when we face challenges that we didn't see coming. Those who walk alone learn to adapt because they know that they can't rely on others to rescue them from difficult situations. They learn to be resourceful, to think creatively, and to find solutions, no matter how tough the circumstances. This resilience is not just about enduring hardship, it's about bouncing back, growing stronger, and becoming wiser through each experience. Walking alone teaches us that setbacks are not the end, they are simply opportunities to learn and to build resilience. This mindset enables us to approach life's challenges with confidence, knowing that we have the strength to overcome whatever comes our way. Walking alone also allows us to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. In a world that is constantly noisy and filled with distractions, solitude provides us with an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. Many people are uncomfortable with silence because it forces them to confront their inner thoughts and fears. But those who walk alone learn to find comfort in that silence. They discover that peace doesn't come from external sources, it comes from within. By spending time alone, we learn to quiet the noise, to let go of worries, and to find a sense of calm that is unshaken by the chaos of the world. This inner peace is a profound strength because it allows us to remain centered even in the face of external pressures. We become less reactive, more patient, and more in tune with our true selves. Another vital lesson that comes from walking alone is self-discipline. When we're alone, there's no one to hold us accountable but ourselves. This can be challenging, but it's also incredibly empowering. We learn to set goals, to create routines, and to stay committed even when no one is there to encourage us. Self-discipline is a cornerstone of inner strength because it allows us to build the life we want, regardless of external circumstances. By developing self-discipline, we become capable of achieving things that others may deem impossible. We learn to delay gratification, to push through obstacles, and to stay focused on our goals. This self-discipline is not about deprivation, it's about choosing to invest in our future, to make decisions that align with our long-term vision rather than succumbing to short-term desires. This is the essence of being strong alone, having the discipline to create a life that reflects our true values and aspirations, even if it means walking a path that others don't understand. Walking alone also requires a deep commitment to self-respect. When we are surrounded by others, it's easy to compromise our values, to seek acceptance, or to fit in. But when we walk alone, we are reminded that our primary responsibility is to ourselves. We learn to respect our boundaries, to prioritize our well-being, and to honor our own needs, even if others don't understand. This self-respect is a form of strength because it protects us from being swayed by the opinions or demands of others. It reminds us that we are worthy of love, respect, and care. Simply because we exist, when we have self-respect, we no longer allow others to define our worth, and we no longer tolerate relationships or situations that don't align with our values. Finally, walking alone teaches us the importance of gratitude and self-acceptance. It's easy to take ourselves for granted, to focus on our shortcomings, or to compare ourselves to others. But when we spend time alone, we learn to appreciate who we are, flaws and all. We begin to see ourselves as whole, complete, and worthy, just as we are. This self-acceptance is a profound strength because it allows us to live authentically without the need to change or to prove ourselves. We learn to be grateful for our journey, for the lessons we've learned, and for the person we've become. This gratitude is a powerful force because it fills us with a sense of contentment that is unshaken by external circumstances. We no longer need others to validate our worth because we know that we are enough just as we are. To build inner strength, especially in solitude, we must first understand what it means to truly know ourselves. Often we navigate life without a complete understanding of who we are, what we stand for, and what truly matters to us. Inner strength starts with self-awareness, a deep, honest understanding of ourselves, without the noise of outside opinions, without the expectations of others clouding our view. When we take the time to sit with ourselves, to reflect, and to dig deep, we uncover the core of who we are. This process isn't easy. It requires us to confront aspects of ourselves that we may not like or may even fear. But it's only by facing these parts that we begin to understand our true nature. When we know who we are at our core, we can start to live a life that is authentically ours. Our actions, our decisions, and our values become aligned, creating a foundation of inner strength that isn't easily shaken by external forces. Knowing ourselves is not a one-time event, but a continual process of reflection and growth. As we move through life, our experiences shape us, our perspectives shift, and our values evolve. To maintain inner strength, we must commit to this ongoing journey of self-discovery. This means checking in with ourselves regularly, asking the hard questions, and staying open to the idea that we are always changing. It's about cultivating a relationship with ourselves that is honest, compassionate, and willing to grow. The more we know ourselves, the less likely we are to be swayed by others or to feel lost in challenging times. We become grounded in a strong sense of self that guides us, even when life feels uncertain. In this way, self-knowledge becomes a source of resilience. It gives us the courage to stand alone, to make choices that are true to us, and to walk a path that aligns with our deepest values. A crucial part of building inner strength through self-awareness is understanding our values. Our values are the principles that define what matters most to us, guiding our decisions and shaping our lives. When we're clear on our values, we have a compass that keeps us on track, even when circumstances are tough or when others try to influence us. This clarity empowers us to make decisions with confidence, to set boundaries that protect our well-being, and to pursue goals that are meaningful. Without a strong sense of values, we may find ourselves drifting, following paths that don't fulfill us, or living according to other people's expectations. But when we live in alignment with our values, we become unshakable. This is inner strength not in the sense of resisting challenges, but in having the resilience to stay true to ourselves, regardless of the obstacles we face. When we are clear on our values, we don't have to rely on others for direction. We have an internal guide that keeps us grounded, purposeful, and committed to the life we want to create. Another essential element of building inner strength is embracing our imperfections. Society often pressures us to present a flawless image, to hide our vulnerabilities, and to strive for perfection in all we do. But real strength is not about being perfect. It's about being authentic, embracing both our strengths and our weaknesses, and understanding that our imperfections are a natural part of who we are. When we accept our flaws, we stop wasting energy on trying to hide them or on being someone we're not. Instead, we can direct that energy toward growth, toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Embracing imperfection doesn't mean we stop trying to improve. It means we stop judging ourselves harshly for not being perfect. We learn to treat ourselves with kindness, to forgive our mistakes, and to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. This mindset is a powerful source of resilience because it frees us from the burden of perfectionism, allowing us to approach life with openness, courage, and a willingness to learn. Being alone and building inner strength also requires us to become comfortable with solitude. In today's world, we are constantly surrounded by noise, distractions, and the expectations of others. Many people fear solitude because it forces them to confront their inner thoughts, their insecurities, and the reality of who they are without the influence of others. But solitude is essential for self-discovery and for cultivating inner strength. When we spend time alone, we give ourselves the space to reflect, to process our emotions, and to connect with our inner voice. This connection is crucial because it allows us to make choices that are true to us, rather than decisions based on external pressures or societal expectations. Solitude teaches us to be comfortable in our own company, to rely on ourselves for fulfillment, and to find peace within. Over time, this inner peace becomes a foundation of strength. It grounds us, giving us the resilience to face challenges, to stand firm in our beliefs, and to pursue our dreams without needing constant validation from others. Building inner strength also means learning to manage our emotions effectively. Life is filled with highs and lows, and our emotions can sometimes feel overwhelming. It's natural to feel joy, anger, sadness, and fear, but if we don't learn to manage these emotions, they can control us, leading to reactions that don't serve our best interests. Inner strength involves developing emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize our emotions, understand what triggers them, and respond in a way that aligns with our values. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it means acknowledging them, processing them, and then choosing how to respond. When we can manage our emotions effectively, we become less reactive to external circumstances. We gain the power to stay calm under pressure, to make thoughtful decisions, and to approach challenges with a level-headed perspective. This emotional resilience is a key component of inner strength, allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and stability. Another aspect of building inner strength is developing self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to stay focused on our goals, to resist short-term temptations, and to take consistent action toward our long-term vision. In a world that is constantly vying for our attention, self-discipline allows us to stay on track, to prioritize what truly matters, and to avoid getting sidetracked by distractions. Building self-discipline is challenging, but it is a powerful form of inner strength. It requires us to be intentional with our time, to set clear boundaries, and to hold ourselves accountable. With self-discipline, we become capable of achieving things that others may see as impossible. We develop the resilience to keep going even when motivation fades or when obstacles arise. Self-discipline is not about denying ourselves or living a rigid life. It's about creating a structure that supports our goals and allows us to live in alignment with our values. Over time, this self-discipline becomes a source of pride, confidence, and inner strength as we prove to ourselves that we have the power to shape our lives. A crucial part of building inner strength is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that we can learn, grow, and improve through effort, perseverance, and resilience. When we approach life with a growth mindset, we see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles to avoid. We become more willing to take risks, to step outside our comfort zones, and to embrace the unknown. This mindset is a source of inner strength because it allows us to approach life with optimism, curiosity, and a willingness to learn. Rather than being discouraged by failure or setbacks, we see them as valuable lessons. We become resilient in the face of adversity, knowing that each experience, whether positive or negative, is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. A growth mindset empowers us to face challenges with confidence, to persist in the face of difficulty, and to believe in our potential to create a better future. This mindset fuels our inner strength, giving us the courage to keep going, even when the path is uncertain. In addition to a growth mindset, cultivating gratitude is another powerful way to build inner strength. Gratitude is the practice of recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, even in the midst of challenges. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we develop a mindset of abundance. This mindset allows us to find joy, contentment, and peace, regardless of our circumstances. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about acknowledging the good in our lives, even when things are tough. This practice builds inner strength because it shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to appreciation. When we approach life with gratitude, we become more resilient in the face of challenges, more grounded in the present moment, and more connected to our sense of purpose. Gratitude reminds us that we have enough, that we are enough, and that we have the strength to face whatever comes our way. Another key aspect of inner strength is the ability to forgive ourselves and others. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, it requires immense courage and resilience. When we hold on to grudges, resentment, or guilt, we are weighed down by negativity. These emotions drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and prevent us from moving forward. Forgiving others frees us from the burden of anger and bitterness, allowing us to find peace and to focus on what truly matters. Forgiving ourselves is equally important. We all make mistakes, but dwelling on them only holds us back. When we forgive ourselves, we release the guilt, shame, and self-doubt that keep us from growing. This act of self-compassion is a powerful source of inner strength, as it allows us to learn from our mistakes, to move forward with confidence, and to approach life with a sense of resilience. Forgiveness is not about condoning wrong actions or forgetting the past. It's about choosing to free ourselves from the emotional weight of resentment, to reclaim our energy, and to focus on creating a better future. Building inner strength also involves developing resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going when times are tough, and to remain hopeful in the face of hardship. Resilience is not about never feeling discouraged or overwhelmed. It's about having the courage to get up, to try again, and to keep moving forward. To develop unwavering inner strength, it's essential to understand that growth often comes through discomfort, challenges, and the willingness to step outside of what feels easy or safe. When we push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, we tap into potential we didn't realize we had, discovering layers of resilience, adaptability, and resourcefulness within us. We all have an innate tendency to stay where we feel secure, but it's in those moments of discomfort that we learn the most about ourselves. Facing our fears, taking on new challenges, and embracing change, even when it feels uncomfortable, are all actions that build inner strength. They push us to dig deep, to reach beyond what we thought were our limits, and to grow into a stronger, wiser version of ourselves. Our comfort zones provide a sense of familiarity and ease, but they also limit our ability to evolve. If we never venture beyond them, we miss out on the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become resilient. Discomfort can be challenging, but it's a powerful teacher. Each time we face a difficult situation, we gain valuable experience, we learn new skills, we become more adaptable, and we grow stronger. These moments of discomfort are what shape us, molding our character and building our resilience. They prepare us for future challenges, equipping us with the tools and the mindset needed to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and courage. By embracing discomfort as a path to growth, we build a foundation of inner strength that enables us to handle whatever comes our way. The journey to inner strength also involves taking risks. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless, it means being willing to step into the unknown and to take action, even when the outcome is uncertain. Each risk we take builds our confidence, showing us that we are capable of handling uncertainty and navigating new situations. When we avoid risks out of fear, we limit ourselves and our potential. But when we take calculated risks, we grow stronger, we become more resilient, and we build a greater sense of self-confidence. Each time we face a new challenge, we remind ourselves that we are capable, that we are resilient, and that we can handle whatever comes our way. This willingness to take risks is a powerful aspect of inner strength, giving us the courage to pursue our dreams, to step into new opportunities, and to live a life that is true to who we are. Another key aspect of inner strength is resilience, which is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going when things get tough, and to maintain a sense of hope and determination in the face of adversity. Resilience is not about never feeling discouraged, it's about having the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult. Resilience is built through experience, through facing challenges, and through overcoming obstacles. Each time we navigate a difficult situation, we build our resilience. We learn that we are stronger than we thought, that we can handle setbacks, and that we have the inner strength to keep going. Resilience is what allows us to persevere, to stay focused on our goals, and to maintain a sense of hope, even in the midst of hardship. Resilience also involves a mindset of optimism, the belief that despite challenges, better things are possible. When we approach life with a positive outlook, we see setbacks as temporary and manageable rather than insurmountable obstacles. Optimism is a crucial part of resilience because it fuels our motivation, keeps us moving forward, and helps us to stay focused on our goals. When we believe in our ability to overcome challenges, we are more likely to keep going, even when things are difficult. This mindset of optimism is a powerful source of inner strength. It allows us to approach life with a sense of hope, to see challenges as opportunities for growth, and to maintain a sense of purpose, even in the face of adversity. Building inner strength also involves cultivating patience and persistence. In a world that values instant results and quick fixes, it can be challenging to stay committed to our goals when progress is slow. But true strength comes from the ability to persevere, even when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. Patience is about understanding that growth takes time, that real change doesn't happen overnight, and that each step we take is part of a larger journey. Persistence is the determination to keep going, even when the path is difficult. Together, patience and persistence create a powerful foundation of inner strength. They teach us to stay focused on our goals, to trust in the process, and to believe that our efforts will pay off in the end. Patience and persistence are what allow us to keep moving forward, even when progress is slow, and to stay committed to our dreams, even in the face of challenges. Another crucial element of inner strength is self-compassion. We often hold ourselves to high standards, expecting perfection and judging ourselves harshly when we fall short. But true strength is not about being perfect. It's about treating ourselves with kindness, understanding, and forgiveness. Self-compassion is the ability to be gentle with ourselves, to acknowledge our mistakes without judgment, and to see our struggles as part of the human experience. When we practice self-compassion, we build a sense of inner peace and resilience. We learn that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay to struggle, and that we are worthy of love and respect, even when we fall short. Self-compassion is a powerful source of inner strength because it allows us to approach life with a sense of peace, to forgive ourselves for our imperfections, and to move forward with confidence and self-acceptance. Self-compassion also involves letting go of self-doubt and believing in our worth. When we doubt ourselves, we undermine our confidence, our motivation, and our ability to pursue our goals. But when we believe in ourselves, we build a foundation of inner strength that is unshakable. This self-belief doesn't come from arrogance or overconfidence. It comes from a deep understanding of our worth and our potential. It's about trusting ourselves, believing in our abilities, and knowing that we have the strength to overcome any challenge. When we have self-belief, we are more likely to take risks, to pursue our dreams, and to live a life that is true to who we are. This self-belief is a powerful source of inner strength giving us the courage to face challenges, to stay focused on our goals, and to trust in our ability to succeed. Another key component of inner strength is gratitude. Gratitude is the practice of recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, even in the midst of challenges. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we develop a mindset of abundance. This mindset allows us to find joy, contentment, and peace regardless of our circumstances. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about acknowledging the good in our lives even when things are tough. This practice builds inner strength because it shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to appreciation. When we approach life with gratitude, we become more resilient in the face of challenges, more grounded in the present moment, and more connected to our sense of purpose. Gratitude reminds us that we have enough, that we are enough, and that we have the strength to face whatever comes our way. Gratitude is a powerful practice because it shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right. When we focus on the positive aspects of our lives, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment. This mindset of gratitude is a powerful source of inner strength. It allows us to approach life with a sense of abundance, to find joy in the small moments, and to appreciate the journey even when it's difficult. Gratitude is what keeps us grounded, reminding us that we have everything we need to face life's challenges and that we are stronger than we realize. Finally, building inner strength involves cultivating a sense of purpose. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we are more resilient, more focused, and more determined. Purpose gives our lives meaning, guiding our actions and helping us to stay focused on what truly matters. When we live with purpose, we are less likely to be swayed by external pressures or to be discouraged by setbacks. Purpose gives us the strength to keep going even when the path is difficult and to stay true to our values even in the face of adversity. Purpose is what fuels our motivation, our determination, and our resilience. It gives us a sense of direction, a reason to keep moving forward, and a foundation of strength that isn't easily shaken. When we live with purpose, we are more likely to take risks, to embrace challenges, and to pursue our dreams with confidence. Purpose is what gives us the courage to stand alone, to make decisions that align with our values, and to live a life that is true to who we are. When we have a sense of purpose, we are more likely to stay focused on our goals, to persevere in the face of challenges, and to remain committed to our dreams. This sense of purpose is a powerful source of inner strength, giving us the courage to pursue our passions, to live authentically, and to make a positive impact in the world. Purpose is what drives us, what keeps us going, and what gives us the resilience to overcome any obstacle.